What's up guys, welcome to the video tutorial for the Learning Light on C++ programming. So in this tutorial we're gonna learn about one of the most important concepts in object-oriented programming, that's inheritance. So inheritance allows us to define one class in terms of another class, or in other words, inheritance allows us to use the features defined in one class in another class. So it's nothing but when we create a class, instead of writing completely new data members and member functions, we're gonna inherit the members and the member functions from another class. So let's get started. So here in this tutorial, for the demonstration purpose, what we're gonna do is we're gonna build a class called person first. So it's gonna be class person. Okay, we're gonna have the access specifier as public, and as a parameter we're gonna have name. It's gonna be a string type, and then we're gonna have age, which is gonna be of integer type, and then we're gonna have two methods, to initialize these two values. So let's call it as void set name, and it's gonna take one parameter. It's gonna be string name, and we're gonna let me call it as iname, and we're gonna store the value in our name. So it's gonna be name equal to iname. Alright, now I'm gonna copy this and paste it in the next line, and this function is gonna take the age, or the set the age. So it's gonna be iAge int iAge, and it's gonna store the age. So iAge. Alright, now we have a class person, which has name and age as our members, and set name and set age as a member functions. So let's say in our program we need to create a class for student, and also we know that a student has a name, age, and some student specific properties. So we have two options. What we can do is we can write the class student with all these properties, or we can write a class student with the specific student properties and inherit all these features. If we go for the second method, at that time we're gonna write the less code, or we're gonna reuse the code, and also it's very easy to manage the program. So here inheritance is nothing but accessing or using the features or the members or member functions of one class in another class. Alright, now we're gonna build the class student and inherit the features of this person in that class student. That's because a student is also a person. Alright, now the class definition of this student. So it's gonna be class, then the class name, which is student, and then to inherit the features or the members or the member functions of one class, we need to use the colon, single colon, and then we need to specify the access specifier, which is public, private, or protected. In this case I'm gonna write public, and then the class from which we are inheriting the members and the member functions. So here in this case it's going to be person. Alright, so when C++ sees this code, it comes to know that okay, we're gonna have a class called student, which is gonna inherit all the non-private members and member functions of this class person, non-private members, and all the members and member function are gonna act as public members of this class student. So if it is confusing, don't worry, it's gonna be clear when we learn all the things about inheritance. Alright, now just remember that if you want to inherit a class in your program, we need to use a colon, and then the access specifier, and then the class name from which we are inheriting. Okay, now in this class student, let's write the access specifier first. Let's say public, and then we're gonna have a member. Let's call it as ID. It's gonna be student ID, and then let's write a method to set this ID. So it's gonna be void set ID, and it's gonna take one parameter. So it's gonna be input ID, IID. Don't get confused with that. And we're gonna store that value in our id, so it's going to be id equal to iid. We are just writing a method which allows us to set two values for this member id. Alright, now let's say in our student we have another method called introduce. So void introduce, and this method is not going to take any parameters, and it's going to use all the members of this class student. Now when we do this inheritance here, this name and age are also available in this class student. That's why I'm gonna say hi I am, and then the name, I'm gonna refer to the name, and we can refer to the name member, which is a member of this class person, in student, just like the way we were referring to it in this class person. So it's gonna be name here, and then I'm gonna say and I am, then I'm gonna insert the age, and again I'm gonna say years old, and then let's end this line, and again we're gonna say and my student id is, let's refer to id. Alright, now we have a method in class student which is gonna use all the members of this class students and also the members of this class person. Okay, now in our main function we're gonna create an object of this class student. To do that, I'm gonna write student, the class name, and then the object name, let's say Anil, and then we're gonna set the name Anil dot. Now the set name method is a member function of this class person, and since the student is inheriting from this class person, it has access to this member function set name. So here I'm gonna refer that using an object of this class student. So it's gonna be Anil dot set name, and I'm gonna pass Anil, and again it's gonna be Anil dot set age, which is also a method of the class person, and I'm gonna set a value of 24, and then I'm gonna write Anil dot set id. Now this id is a member of this class student itself, so we can refer that, and let's say id 1 2 3 4 5. All right, let's add semicolon. Now we have initialized to all the properties. The next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna call this introduce. So Anil dot introduce. Okay, now what we have done here is we have written a class which is gonna contain the basic features, and then we have inherited that basic features in another class, and we have created the object, and we have called all the member functions. So I'm gonna build and run this. Now, hi, I am Anil and I'm 24 years old, and my student ID is 1 2 3 4 5. Alright, now the class from which we are inheriting is called as a base class, and the class which inherits another class is called subclass. Here in this example, this class person is a base class, and this class student is the subclass. So a subclass inherits from a base class. So this inheritance is one of the most important feature available in object-oriented programming, and it allows us to define a class in terms of another class, and a class whose feature are gonna be inherited in another class is called as the base class, and the class which inherits or uses the feature of another class is called as a subclass. And to specify to the C++ that our class is inheriting from another class, we need to use the colon and then the access specifier and then the name of the class from which we want to inherit. So this is it, guys. This is about introduction to the inheritance in C++. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, like my Facebook page, and stay updated with my latest video tutorials, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.